Hello and welcome to another Doctor Who figure review. In this figure review I'm looking at the Impossible set and we'll be finding out, is this set really impossible? So let's look at the packaging. Okay, so here is the packaging for the Impossible set. As you can see, we have the Doctor displayed. Now you may be wondering, where the hell is Oswald or Clara? Whoosh, there she is, yeah. So it's quite well designed. As you can see, we have the standard sort of hexagonal design that's been present for 3 years now, since 2011. We have the sort of first edition of the Doctor and Dalek Twin Pack logo, because that changed in Wave 2 and 3. The Impossible set there. And yeah, so now let's go into the Doctor side. So the Doctor side is meant to represent a window sort of diorama thing. Problem is with this is this. Warning, choking hazard, small parts, not for children under 3. Now, I don't know many windows what has warning choking hazards, unless you're putting a window in. But it sort of ruins the whole sort of illusion of the packaging, because otherwise it looks pretty darn cool. I think they could have put that on the bottom. Yeah, there's quite a bit going on the bottom. But still, they could have put it on. But I love the effect of the sort of foil finish with the snowflakes. Yeah, we have Doctor Who logo there. Matt Smith there with his dates, Impossible set from what this figure is from, and then we have a nice picture of of Matt Smith from the Snowmen. So yeah, that's basically that side. Now if we move on to Clara, whoa, she's a Dalek, or Oswald. Yeah, that's going to happen quite a lot in this review. So we have Doctor Who there, 11th Doctor, Impossible set, then we have Clara, and I really do like the idea of this. I mean, the foil finish just gives it that extra bit of specialness, because it gives the effect that the Dalek is metallic. It gives that sort of metallic feel to it, well, not feel to it, but sort of look to it. And also with the Doctor, it gives this sort of cold sort of element. And in the middle we can see Clara there. So yeah, that's basically the packaging. So we will start this review by looking at the Doctor figure. So if we look at the articulation, so the head moves side to side. It could do a 360, but I don't want to risk it because it's a bit of a nice figure to ruin. Then we have ball jointed shoulders, but they are extremely stiff, and if you sort of try to force them, then this will sort of start to give way and stretch it, and eventually the peg will snap off, which will be bad. Then you've got bicep articulation there, bend at the elbow, which is again rather stiff because I've just got them out of the packaging a couple of minutes ago. And the wrists, they're quite odd, and I'll demonstrate it on this hand. Now if you just move this hand, it doesn't move, it will go back to its place where it was before. So I'm not going to move it just in case it snaps. So possibly there is wrist articulation, but if it doesn't move, don't force it because it will snap. The figure does have waist articulation. It can do a 360, but it is hindered by the coat. Legs can go out, and then you have thigh articulation, bend at the knee, and the legs can kick out and backwards, but are again hindered by the coat, and no boot articulation. So the articulation is pretty good. So now if we look at the head, so the detail, so the face sculpt on this really does look fantastic. It really does have a resemblance to the 11th Doctor, and he doesn't look as jolly as he was, and you can understand why, because in the Snowmen, well, the first half anyway, he is quite sort of sad and gloomy, so the sort of face sculpt does sort of reflect his character early on in the story. The top hat itself has this really nice sort of texture going on, if the camera will focus. Come on, focus, there we are. Has this nice sort of texture, and it is brown, and I believe the hat is meant to be this sort of, again, a sort of aubergine colour like the jacket, but the detail is really nice, and we've got this sort of hint of a band going all around there. So again, the head is done fantastically. You may be wondering, is the hat removable? No, but the head itself is removable by simply pulling it off, because this set is compatible with the time of the Doctor set when it is released, and sadly that has been delayed till the end of October. Well, we'll probably get it November, sorry, because Forbidden Planet like to delay things even more. and of course the head does pop back on, so you can put the really old sort of Matt Smith head on, or you can put the young 11th Doctor head on, or if you want to be a bit adventurous, put the Peter Capaldi head on. So if we move down to the jacket, we have this nice sort of fur collar detail, which is again sort of similar to the top hat there, and we've got the nice fastening done there and the buckle there. It's done fantastically. And then on the sort of torso, we've got these sort of really sort of striking highlighter colour pink lines going across the shirt, and it also gives this sort of ruffled effect to show that he just literally puts it on, and he's been wearing it for a long time and he just can't be asked to change it. So it gives this sort of nice sort of creased effect, and he's wearing a tie, which he would later replace once he seems to be more jolly. So it's quite odd to see a Matt Smith figure with a tie, but that's done really nicely with the creases there. The waistcoat itself is inaccurate. It's not meant to be this colour, it's not meant to be a purple, it's meant to be his waistcoat what he had in the Nightmare in Silver and the Name of the Doctor, so sort of a black velvet, so that should be black really, but it doesn't really bother me. But it would have been nice if it were black, because it does look a bit odd itself to me. Then we have these nice gold buttons, and then we have this nice gold chain sculpted with this brilliant silver detail there if the camera will let you see it. So yeah, the trousers are again inaccurate because they are checkered, but because Matt Smith has such spindly legs, it's just easy to paint them brown, I suppose, because the trousers themselves are like the Pat Troughton ones, but brown. The boots are now sort of different because they are brown with a sort of darker brown for the sole, and if I can just get the camera to focus, you can see there is a sort of black wash over the shoe, adding a more sort of sense of wear, sort of weathered effect, and yeah, sort of sense of age, and a little nice crease there. Now the jacket is brilliant because it has this sort of weird texture, and it does come across in the light. I think you can just about see it. And we have the nice buttons there, and along the sleeve we've got the nice sort of black trim there. So yeah, the 11th Doctor is a fantastic figure, and this figure was originally going to be part of a diorama set with well, this figure was going to be with a cardboard background, so this figure got cancelled because the dioramas didn't go ahead. But thankfully we've got this figure because it is a pretty cool figure, and yeah, it's really highly detailed. So now let's go into the main selling point of this set, Clara or Oswin. Okay, so now on to Clara or Oswin, but I'm going to call her Clara because that's what people are going to call her most. So if we look at the articulation, so the arms are ball jointed, but they are incredibly stiff, and I'm scared of snapping that because the arms are really thin. Then she has bicep, then she has articulation at the elbow, so she can bend that, and she can bend it lower. Don't know if you can see the joint. I don't know if it's coming across on camera, but she can bend it down like that. There we are. Then we have she can twist that there, which is really cool. She does have waist articulation, but it's sort of hindered by the dress. Then legs can kick out, which aren't hindered by the dress because I will go into that later and explain why. Then she has thigh, then she has knee, and then she has foot articulation there. So yeah, pretty good articulation. Oh, I forgot to mention the head doesn't move because the hair restricts, and it seems like it's glued on. So I don't exactly want to move it. So the detail, yes, it does look like Jenna Coleman, and on some angles it really does capture, and she does look a bit podgy, but she was sort of a bit podgy in Asylum, but yeah. The lipstick seems a bit bright, sort of is a sort of standout feature. So if that was a bit, or her lips, it just seems like it should be a bit paler, sort of to match her face, because it's quite prominent. The hair is done wonderfully. It's like the Toys R Us Matt Smith figure. If I just get it, with sort of black and then a sort of brown wash. There we are. So it's sort of similar to that, which is really nice. Really do like the head sculpt. It's fantastic. Now the dress. The arms are plastic, or this bit is actually Ace's arms, and the dress or the torso is rubber, so it gives this sort of flexible state, so she can sort of move her legs a bit more. If it was plastic like the previous sort of figures with dresses or long elongated bits like Magnus Grill and Mrs. Peace, they are sort of restricted with the legs, so this is a good feature because you can enhance the articulation. The belt was supposedly removable, what Al Diwar put on his Twitter, but it's one piece, so you cannot remove it, which is a shame. But if you did cut it off, you are got to get it back on. So if we look at the detail on the belt, the camera focus, you can see various sort of equipment there, and various other things, you know, egg whisk and stuff what she likes to do when she makes souffle, so it's probably related to that. Then we've got some nice creases, what will give this real sort of realistic effect to it. Then the legs are just plain, and then the trainers are done really well with the laces there and the design and patterning. So yeah, it's fantastic, the detail is brilliant. Also she has a little watch which is done fantastic, and it's just a brilliant figure. I don't really want to say much about it. There's not really much you can say about it. It's fantastic, it looks like Jenna Coleman. It's a brilliant figure, and it's definitely the selling point for many people in this set. So now let's go on to accessories in this set. So accessory wise for Clara, she comes with a burnt souffle. As you can see, the detail on this is fantastic. If the camera will focus. Come on, camera, focus. There we are. You get a really good sense of sort of the burntness, and you can see a bit of texture there to see where it was sort of burnt more, which is fantastic. And then we have this nice sort of white ceramic pot to give that feel, but it is ceramic. Then we've got lines going along the bottom, and it's plain, and it's just a nice little inclusion. Clara, I don't think she can hold on to it very well because her arms aren't, well, her hands aren't sculpted to hold it. And also another thing is Clara isn't a very good stander. She does tend to fall over like that. She's pretty bad, so blue tack may be necessary for making her stand up. So yeah, it's a really nice inclusion to have this, because it's what we probably assume for Oswald, really, you know, making souffles. Now let's go on to the Doctor's accessory, which is of course his trusty sonic screwdriver. Now the paint app on this is a lot cleaner and a lot tidier, and it seems like it's a new sort of sculpt because the end is a bit more defined. So if I just get a Series 6 sonic screwdriver, so if I just show you guys that, the camera will focus, it doesn't seem, you know, the paint isn't very good on it. So if I just get this one, the Impossible Set one, so if I just get it on my hand, that's not going to work. So yeah, this is the new one, and it's just a lot more tidier. I lost the other one now, so yeah, I'm not going to try and get that. Yeah, I've got no chance of getting that. So yeah, it's brilliant, it's really tidy and refined, and it really does highlight the detail of it, which is fantastic. And of course it's a nice inclusion for the 11th Doctor to have it, because where would the 11th Doctor be out of it without his sonic screwdriver? Probably locked somewhere, thinking, oh, I haven't got a sonic. So now it's time to go on to my conclusion on this set. So this set definitely seems more worth the money, because the set is 30 quid and the Time of the Doctor set is 30 quid, and you're only getting one figure, so this seems a logical buy. And plus you're getting a new figure technically with Clara or Oswald, and you're getting a sort of new variant of Matt Smith. So yeah, I would recommend this set for, you know, 5-inch figure collectors, because I personally am a 5-inch Doctor Who figure collector, not 3.75 inch. I despise them really. So I'm glad that we're still getting these figures, because they are, well, they were supposed to be San Diego Comic-Con figures, but obviously they weren't sort of made in time or released in time. So I'm really glad that we've got these, and I'm glad we find, the Snowman 11th Doctor's finally seen the light of day, because after I said it was meant to be a cancelled figure because of various reasons, like the diorama sets being cancelled, along with the sort of, I believe the second Doctor in fur coat. Yeah, that's what I mean by Clara not standing up. Oswin. Yes, Oswin. Yes, the second Doctor in fur coat was meant to be released, but whether he will see the light of the day, hopefully he will, and he'll come with Jamie and possibly a Yeti. That's possibly me wishing too hard, but Owen Salmon's got his wish. He got his Jenna Coleman figure. So yeah, I really hope that we see a Clara and Capaldi in costume, because that would be an interesting set. Because there is rumour of a Deep Breath set. Whether that is true, I don't know. But this has been my figure review of the Impossible set. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next review. Ooh, impossibleness. Ooh.